All right, everybody, welcome. It is time for us to start Breakfast with Tiffanie. So excited to be back here with you guys for this. And I'm trying again to do some dual technology. So we're recording this on Zoom as well as going live on Facebook. Trying to make sure we have everything set up. Want to make it easy for you guys to ask some questions. So this is an open forum and you get to ask whatever questions that you want. Hopefully on Facebook or on Zoom, you can just put those in the chat box or in the comment. Hey, Rob, my husband's watching. I don't think he's ever watched one of these. So that's kind of cool. If you have questions, you can put them in the comment box. And I do have a few already to get us started this morning. So let's dive right in. So apparently Zoom is a hot topic. Most of my questions that I already have are actually technology based, which is kind of scary because technology isn't my thing, but I try. So we're going to give it a shot. So my first question I have is, when on a Zoom call, how do I make my profile picture show up instead of a live picture? I noticed several people doing that, but I can't figure out how. So one of the things I love about Zoom is they have an amazing tutorial section. I oftentimes will just Google what I'm looking for with Zoom. However, to get your picture to show up, so there's two different ways that you can be on a Zoom call, and this is a call and not a webinar. So in the call, you can either A, have your camera on, or B, have your camera off. Now, if your camera is on, then you will be able to see yourself on the video, unless, like me, I actually have a little cover on my computer so that I can hide the video should I want to do that. Somebody was kind of paranoid and made me think I don't want it to be seen if I'm not actually using the camera. So it's just like a little slide. I think it was a couple bucks to cover it up. Otherwise, you're on video. And you can turn the video down. Usually, at least on my computer, it's in the lower left-hand corner. And it says stop video or start video. Now, the other way that people can see you on the Zoom is going to be if you have the camera off. And it'll either be a blank screen or have your name up there, or if you have in your profile your photo, it will actually put your picture up. So if you go into Zoom, go into your profile, put up, I recommend a nice professional image. That way people can see what you look like if you're not there on camera. So those would be my recommendations. Oh, Sean's here on Zoom and he just flipped over and showed his picture. Yeah. Sometimes, we're not dressed appropriately, though. Yes, Jeremy, I do have on my morning PJs. It's funny to get up and get dressed and get ready, though you put on your PJs. Though I don't have another webinar till 1:40 or 2 o'clock today. I've got my next webinar, and that is talking about running Facebook and Instagram ads, and I'm looking forward to doing that in my PJs. Sean Yesner, was that a Bloody Mary you just showed us? He's got his morning beverage going on. I've got me some hot tea in my Yoda cup. I figure, what a better way to start the morning than mastering it. So I see we got something down here in the chat box. All right. So question from Sean. Oh, is this private? Can I share this, Sean? Okay, so the question from Sean is, I have 2 Kindle sales of my book yesterday. Congrats. Sean Yesner is here with us. He wrote the book, Crushing Debt. Said, should I make an offer to potential clients? Buy a copy of the book, physical or Kindle, and leave a review. I'll give them $100 off. Are we talking about giving them $100 off the consultation, or if they hire you?
Yeah, $100 off if they hire me.
Okay, $100 off if they hire you. Do you think that if they buy the book that would be a good draw for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's what the book is about, is what I do. And a typical ticket for me would be $1,500 to $2,000, give or take. And so what I'm really trying to do is stimulate sales and reviews of the book.
Gotcha. So, I mean, certainly it would be something that you could try out, see how it's going. Maybe one of the things that you might want to do is reach out to your referral sources and ask them if they could be really heavily having you promote the book. Because I think I saw you had discounted the Kindle version. How much is that now?
So I discounted both.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
The physical version is $9.95 and the Kindle version is 99 cents.
Okay. So the physical version is $10. $1.99 for the electronic version, I would probably lean on my referral sources and be like, hey, referral sources, I've got the book discounted super deep. Can you guys help me out? You know, who are the 10, 12, 100 people that you can reach out to, since many of us are stuck in our offices. I know some people are still working, but many of us are still stuck in our offices, and ask them, okay, hey, can you guys help me out promoting this on social media, inviting people to, you know, and maybe even, because can you buy gift copies for people?
Uh, sure. I don't know how to do it through Kindle, but sure. If someone
I
wanted to
think you can
buy,
go on and buy it as a gift on the Kindle page. And so, and this is something that could be really good for all of y'all to do. If you've got people in your world that you want them to read a book and they might not normally do it and they would be open to it, especially a 99-cent book. What a great deal. Fran wants to know what book. So if you go to Amazon, it's Crushing Debt by Sean Yesner. It's red. Color-wise, it's got a shoe on it, right?
it's got a white picture of a bank with a big black boot coming down to
Yeah, so
snatch.
the back boot is crushing the bank. So especially for people that you know that are going to have some money issues going into what could be a long time without us doing work if they're not able to monetize in another way, we want to make that happen. So yeah, I would, you know, you could always try an incentive, and I would also reach out to my network and ask for their help and have people buy it as a gift. One of my favorite fiction writers, actually, when all of this started, she went on and she doesn't charge a lot for her books. I want to say most of her books are $4, $5, $6, so it's not super expensive, but she knocked them all down to 99 cents. And I've probably paid regular price for two-thirds of her collection, but I'm like, okay, I'm buying everything else that I haven't gotten yet. So I hope that helps. A couple good ideas, Sean.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So speaking of books, I have seen several people posting today that LeVar Burton is talking about doing a live stream reading of books. You know, if you know, LeVar Burton's the one that did Reading Rainbow. I do want to let you know, because I've asked the people that I've seen posting it, do you know that he has a podcast? He actually reads short stories, so most of the time they're 30 minutes to an hour, I guess, that he reads short stories. He's got quite a few of them already. And it's just fun, you know, the Reading Rainbow voice coming in there and sharing. So if you haven't listened to it yet, listen to that. And then hopefully he will live stream and we can enjoy that conversation. All right, next question that I have is from Carolyn. Got some email questions. And I don't know the answer to this one. So I've heard that 7 words in a subject line are magic, not more. Do you agree? I haven't looked at any studies to say, yes, that sounds great. No, it doesn't. I don't know if we even have 7, though. If we think about it, it's, you know, a handful of words that people will read. Sometimes you put more details in because it can go either way. Some people are going to look at the beginning of the subject line and say, other people are going to be like, oh, let me read the subject line, and that's all they read. So it probably depends on the style of the person that you're sending it to. I usually want to try and catch their attention within the first couple of words, and I have heard using names in the beginning does help. Another email question, I try to make a new subject when the subject changes so it's easy to find and search for later. I guess that's not technically a question, but yes, I agree. If you're talking about something, especially if you're in a thread in Google, there's like 27 different conversations going on. Sometimes it is hard to keep track. And so I love the idea of changing the subject to something else so it's easier and you're kind of splitting it off. So love that. So those of you here on Facebook Live, I'm just checking in to see if we've got any questions coming in. And I think I've got a lot of comments. Yes, LeVar, he's awesome. He's great. So any questions, put those in the comments there. And those of you here on Zoom, feel free to put any questions you have in the chat box. Another email question. I use labels for certain groups and categories, but they don't apply automatically. Is there a way to do that using Gmail? I have no idea. That's not something that I'm familiar with, so I would Google it or ask somebody that's maybe a little bit more technology savvy. My apologies. Next question. Some people don't use a signature at all. Okay, that annoys me. I'll come back to that. Mine is likely too long. What do you recommend? So I think that with the phones, with the electronic devices, oh, I just got a text. when it comes to the email signature, we want to be able to see some of the signature, but if I have to scroll 3 times through your signature, it's going to be too long. I recommend a handful of lines at the most. I do, please, this annoys me so much. At least have your name and your phone number. And I get, because like even me, my email will, if I send it from my Gmail on my computer, it's a different signature than my phone signature. But at least on my phone, it still has my name, my phone number, and my website, so that it's still getting that information. Because I was trying to get in touch with somebody the other day, didn't have his number saved in my phone, so I'm going to the email thread where we were talking back and forth. It's not in his email, it's just his name. And so I do recommend at least have that in your signature. I know some of you are compliance driven, so you're kind of stuck with a very long signature. To me, a handful of lines, pertinent information. Don't try and put everything that's on your website into your signature. It's not meant to be that way. Send them to your website. Oh, Sean asked, what was the question again? So the question, Sean, was, I use labels for certain groups and categories, but they don't apply automatically. Is there a way to do that using Gmail?
Not automatically that I know of, but I keep all my emails grouped by client. And so as soon as you read an email, you start typing in the client name and it'll automatically call up that client, and then you can just click enter and pop it into that subfolder.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that answers the question.
I don't know either. But it's a shot, and Google it. Hey, Lindsay, good to see you on. It must be pretty late. I guess at 8 o'clock. It's after 10 there in Australia. So glad you're staying up and hanging out. I guess it's probably PJ time for you too. However, it's not the PJs because you're getting up. It's because you're going to bed. All right, another Zoom question. How are you organizing your Zoom interview so that no one can be seen but the presenters? When set up this way, do you as the host see who is on the call? So when I've been doing a bunch of a bunch of interviews here on Zoom. Last week I had a handful. Sean Yesner, who's here with us on Zoom. When is your Zoom? I know it's sometime this week.
With you?
With me, yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, if you want to learn more about crushing debt, join Sean and I will be there. You can check out all of the events if you go to facebook.com/TiffanySpeaks/events. It actually has all of the webinars and online things that I have going on. So you are welcome to join us for that one tomorrow. Sean will be here. But so how am I organizing the Zoom call? So what I do is when I'm doing the interviews, I actually set it up as a webinar. And when you set it up as a webinar, so that is a paid feature, I believe, for Zoom. So you can't just do it for free. I want to say it's about $40 a month for the webinar feature. And then you're able to have the 2 people that are talking be up on the screen. And so it's the panelists that are going to be on the screen. And so you do have to invite them. They have to go into a different link. And also, yes, you can see who's on the call. And you can actually unmute people if you want to have them talk, but they don't have the video capabilities. They can chat with you, but they don't have the chat with everyone capabilities. I like it when we're doing the interviews because it gives us the opportunity not to be distracted by other people, but we can still get the Q&A in the chat to have that happen. Yes, I as the host, yes, you'll get to see who's on the call. All right, come on, y'all that are out there in Facebook world or here on Zoom, if you have any more questions, because I think I just have 1 or 2 more questions to answer here, unless y'all come up with something else. And if you don't, then we'll just call it a day. So my next question, I unsubscribe. This is about email. I unsubscribe, but still have a zillion emails. So hoping to learn some tricks to make it easier for me in the future. Thanks so much. Okay, so when it comes to unsubscribing to emails, the first tip for getting less emails and not having them come in is don't sign up for them. I know that sounds more simplex than it is, but the less emails that you sign up for, the easier it will be. If you're purchasing something or you need something that you don't necessarily want to get communication from, I do have like an old school email address from, I don't know, when I was in high school or college. And if I'm signing up for something like they need your email address, but I never want to hear from them, I'll just use that old school email address. And I actually have no idea how many, like my old AOL and my old Yahoo address have, how many I've got sitting there. It's probably a lot. but I don't check it, so I don't worry about them. Another thing that you'll want to do when it comes to your emails is when you get the email, because it gets really easy for us to just say, oh, here's another email from so-and-so, let me delete it, you just have to be very conscious of when you get it in, do I use this? Is this something I want to communicate? Do I want to continue to get, or can I just go to unsubscribe? I think it does take us a couple more seconds right then and there when we're doing the unsubscribing. However, we'll make it up because we're not continuing to get emails that we don't want or we don't need. There is a service called Unroll Me, UNROLL.me, Unroll Me. And my understanding is that you can use that to put some of your email subscriptions into a digest form. So if you're wanting to get less emails, that's a way to help you get less emails, but still get the content. I typically find that if I'm getting something from someone and I'm only reading it once or twice, and the rest of them it's going directly into junk, let me just unsubscribe. Now, I do have to say this, as I'm trying to be healthier now, especially with, I'm sitting so much more. I'm so used to being active, and when I'm doing 4, 5, 6 speaking engagements a week, I'm much more active. Now I'm finding myself sitting so much that it's like, oh, I'm not getting the exercise. And I actually ordered a stand-up desk, and Amazon just canceled my order. I'm like, great. That being said, I totally lost where I was going with this. Man, I was talking about so like I'm unsubscribing. Like I love getting my coupons from Chili's. However, every time I get it in, I'm like, ooh, Chili's sounds good. Or, with those restaurants that I'm getting from. So I'm like unsubscribing to all the restaurants. So I'm very less tempted. Many people out here, we're going to have to watch our budget and not spend too much because we don't know when the world's going to get back to normal. So do you want to unsubscribe from those shopping sites? Like I got a really cool email from White House Black Market. It's one of my favorite places to shop. However, where am I going to go that I need clothes anytime soon? So I'm like, maybe more pajamas at this rate, but I don't need any work clothes. So I'm like, okay, let me unsubscribe for now. When things get back to normal, I can add that on. Cool. All right. I've got a question from Facebook. Does it seem unprofessional for a company to use Gmail for their email? Yes. And maybe it's not that it's completely unprofessional. It's just as we look at ourselves and we look at our brand, if we have this Gmail address, it looks like, okay, we just got started. So let me pop in the Gmail address. And now I know there are tons of business professionals that use a Gmail address. I just think that it's much more professional if you get your own domain name. $10-20, I think you can get a domain name at GoDaddy. Set it up, whether you do it through them or through your own. Talk to your IT provider. They can help make that look better or help you get it all scheduled. Help you get it all scheduled and set up so that you can, look a little bit more professional. Sean shares, unprofessional use at gmail.com. My account is Gmail account, but ends at yesnorlaw.com. Yeah. So I have, I don't know, a handful of Gmail emails, and I use Gmail for all of my servicing, but it doesn't come from Gmail. And I think it's just a slightly different level of professionalism. It just takes it to the next. It's kind of like, do we have, I'm trying to think of a good equivalent. Is it, we have our plain, okay, so if you have a domain name, then your IT provider should be able to set that up super, super easy. And for those of you that are like with a company, but you're like, I don't necessarily want my email address to be the company. I want to keep my own control over it. Just set it up, at yourname.com. You may have to use a middle initial or middle name or your profession if your domain is already taken. It just looks way more professional. Oh, that's a good question. So our next question, Patty wants to know, okay, I use Yahoo and I have an out-of-state phone number. Should I change to a Tampa number? 5 years ago, I would have said yes, definitely. If you're in Tampa doing business and you want Tampa clients, yes. I still lean to, I like for the person that I'm doing business with, if it's a locally based business, to have a local number. in 5 or 10 years, I don't know that area codes are going to be as big of a deal, as so many people are kind of getting away, when they move. And I get it. I've been here forever. Why would I want to change? Though an option could be, Patty, the way Google is set up, I believe, Google it, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can actually create numbers that will go to your current phone. So you could go into Google, set up a Google phone account, and it will ring to your current cell phone. So you'll have 2 numbers, one's for the Tampa area, one's the number that you've had before, but that'll give you the opportunity to be able to be in communication with people, and they see that you look like you're in the area. Definitely, if you're locally based, I think it's really important for us to have that local number. Again, how long that's going to take to go away, I think with the change in technology, people moving, keeping the numbers, it may become more of a blur, more of a mixing pot. I hope that helps a little bit. All right, so I did that before, but people would text me, oh, all right, yeah, I didn't think about the fact that you can't text the Google number. I actually don't think I knew that. Maybe it's time to switch to a Tampa number. I don't know how much the phone company would charge to keep both as you're switching over. I know it's kind of a pain, though maybe it's time. It's a good reason to clean up the list and communicate with people, hey, I'm changing my number. It does make it hard. What kind of business are you in, Patty, and how much is local versus long distance? In the meantime, this is the last question I've got, but we still have about 8 minutes. So if you have another thought or question, go ahead and pop it in the comments or put it in the chat box for those of you on Zoom. Okay, so if it's all local clients, and you're planning on sticking around, then I might go ahead and just switch it over to the Tampa number. I know it's not fun, but I think, again, in 5 years, you may be okay. But right now, if it's a local thing, people are often looking at it like, Hi, Matt. All right, any other questions for you guys? I hope that helps, Patty. It's probably not the answer we want. Though there may be other technologies out there now to see. Of this point, I don't know of any, but yeah, people will text. I know sometimes I'll get somebody's number and then I go to text it and it's like it's a landline. I'm like, who has landlines anymore? I mean, I get plenty of businesses too. All right, last call for questions. While you're putting those in, I do want to let you know a couple upcoming networking opportunities. So on April 6th, that is next Monday at 3:00 p.m. I am going to be having a little celebration. It is my 15th anniversary being involved in BNI, and whereas usually we have a party and go to the bar, that is not happening this year because we were stuck inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a big networking event. I would love to have lots and lots of people there. And everybody will get the chance to introduce themselves. And we have a couple people coming in that are going to give like a minute tip on maximizing BNI. The first guest speaker that we actually have on the roster is Dr. Meisner. So he will be coming out to my 15th anniversary party. So he will be there to hang out with us. And we've got tips from Tom Fleming and Jason Avery and a couple other folks. And we'll get to do some introductions. I don't know. It'll depend on how many people are there, on how long the introductions will be, if it's 15, 20 seconds. So hopefully we'll have people from across, the Tampa Bay area as well as across the globe. The other networking event I wanted to tell you about is on the second Tuesday of the month. That is the 14th of April. We will be having a Brewing Up Business. Brewing Up Business is our networking event that we do typically at a local brewery. However, we can't do that either. So we're going to do it online. So we recommend you bring your favorite brew, whether it's coffee, tea, beer. Totally up to you what you want to bring. Bloody Mary, if you prefer. Totally up to you on what you would like to drink. And then we go around and last time we were like, what are we grateful for? And everybody had a chance to introduce themselves and we just did some chatting. So that's 3:00 on April 14th. Again, all of the events are at facebook.com/TiffaniSpeaks/event. Hey, Phil from Dubai, good to see you. Got some late people staying up late. I wonder, are you in your PJs already too? Lindsay from Australia was on a minute ago. All right, Fran said, I think this is for Patty. You can do a Google Voice number for business. I did it. My cell number I had for almost 20 years and won't change it, so I use Google Voice. We talked about that, Fran, though. Our question was, can you do text messages? Because that was her concern, is people were trying to text her and that wasn't working. All right. Thank you. I like my jammies too. These are special just for the call. All right. Any other calls that we have? Any other calls? Any other questions you have, please put them in the chat box. We're going to begin to wrap up. We will be doing some interviews this week. This afternoon, we will be talking about Facebook and Instagram ads. Stop throwing your money away on those, how to do them correctly. Tomorrow morning, we have Sean Yesner, who's here with us on the Zoom, that is going to be talking to us about crushing debt. We do have several others that are coming up. Sean wants to know, should he shave for tomorrow? And I don't know if, because we're set up, so I'm not sure if we can see. So Sean wants to know, should he shave for tomorrow? We need you to tell us in the comment box, should Sean shave for tomorrow? Fran said, oh, I think Fran was answering the question from before. Apparently nobody, Patty said no shaving needed. Maylin says yes. Shirley says no. This should be the poll on Facebook. Should Sean shave before tomorrow's call? Yeah, we're looking forward to talking about crushing debt. You can ask Sean some questions. We will be on the interview, the webinar style interview. So him and I will be on the screen and you'll get the opportunity to watch it. I haven't figured out a great way to live stream those while we're in person. So I might just have an idea. So I'll have to see how I can do that. Because this one is just me talking. So it's not as important to see both. We'll see how it goes. Fran said, yes, you can text, no to the shaving. So you got split response, so you can shave half and leave the other half there, and we'll just, go back and forth. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for Breakfast with Tiffanie. These were some really great questions today. We'll be doing this again in a couple weeks, and I hope that we'll see you back in your PJs with your coffee or your tea ready to go. Thank you so very much, and have a great day. Bye, all.